to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Call the meeting to order. Approval of agenda as printed.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes from this past meeting.
I read through them at home, they were fine, so moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. General public concerns? Seeing none? Ben?
Morning.
Good morning.
How we doing?
Good.
Good.
Before I forget to ask, is this what we talked about last week? This award contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so, this is the formal step. We've got the paperwork from the DOT. I've included a copy of the bid tabs for you guys' review. We had 3 bidders on this project, with Merriman Bridge being low bidder at $393,213.65. I've gotten, like I said, the additional paperwork from the DOT. The next step for us is to award the contract to Merriman Bridge at that price.
Okay.
Everything is in order?
Yeah, as far as bids, once we award, then they'll get their bonds and everything else and their certificate of insurance to us.
Well, how could our probable cost be at $2,500 off?
I was pretty happy about that.
That is
My
awesome.
comment to Dave was basically, the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then, so, yeah, I got pretty lucky.
We would, argue over that, Eddie.
No, that's really good.
I had to run that through there to think, wow, that is a close bid.
Well,
And then you look at the other one.
And that's why I started getting nervous, because the past 3 months, I've been staring at the bridge lettings, and then trying to figure out what cost per square foot of bridge deck is costing, and it's anywhere from $120 a square foot to $220. I mean, it's all over the map,
Mhm.
so.
How can we go on mobilization, is it?
Mobilization is basically...
2,500 to 105?
Yeah,
Is
so
that the
you've
difference?
got, 25,000, that's basically, mobilization is the cost that contractor incurs to bring all of their equipment over, their guys traveling back and forth.
Staying overnight or whatever if they have to.
80,000 difference?
Well, if they live farther, or they work farther away, I would
Yeah.
assume it's just gonna cost that much more, especially if you're calling heavy equipment and stuff like that, it's gonna it costs.
And looking at the contractors that have gotten work over the last couple of bid lettings, the other 2 contractors have enough work lined up for the last year.
That's a lot of it.
So
They,
Yeah.
If you wanted to do
They
it,
threw
they
a
would-
flyer bid in, they basically said, we don't need the work, but
If you'll give it
if you're
to
gonna
us.
give it to us, we're gonna make sure that we get plenty in our pocket.
mhm.
All right, I'll make a motion to award the contract for BROS SWAT code CO 4673 to Merriman Bridge for the amount of $393,213.65.
I'll second.
Any further discussion, which I have one question,
Sure.
or maybe 2. Is this the Pony Trust Bridge?
This is the Pony Trust Bridge
One
up
person
on
does
North
it.
Virginia, yeah, and so it is gonna actually be
It's gonna be a concrete slab bridge.
concrete slab bridge.
Or you can take something wide through.
Yeah, 24 foot wide on the road right now. I think the existing is 17.
Probably.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's small, but, yeah,
Yep.
You could get 6-row stuff through it, I think.
Yeah.
horse and buggy.
Yeah, it's about that much.
Horse and buggy, yeah.
When will this be signed in their hands so they can sign it and we
So
can...
as soon as I get back to the office, we've got the resolution 2019-15 that we passed that allowed Dave to use his digital contract to sign off on everything. If I remember right, I've still got yours logged on my computer, so we can get that signed and transferred over to Merriman this morning, and they can start working on their performance bonds and in papers for insurance.
One other odd comment, means it was kind of talked about on the probable cost. Does anyone see that besides you and us?
As far as...
Yeah,
Any of the contractors?
you send that out.
Yeah, so that's available to any of the bidders, anybody with access to the DOT website. They can see the summary of the bids. I don't know that they can see the individual
They can't see other people's
bid
bids,
items.
but they see your estimate.
My estimate is available to the DOT. I don't know if the contractor sees it.
Oh, really?
I know Dan asked me, how far off he was from the bid, and I said about $2,000. He's like, okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better about leaving $150,000 on the table.
Yeah, because that always gives you a gut-wrenching feeling.
Yeah, and then he asked...
Because you think, what did I miss?
His comment was, well, if I wouldn't have bid, what would you have done? I said, probably reject all bids, because it was that much
Yeah,
more
it's too
than what our
expensive.
Way
estimation
above,
was.
way above, yeah. So I guess you're not 100% sure if the contractors bidding do see the probable cost.
I don't know if they see the probable cost. I have no problem with sending it out. I've got contact information for all three of them. I can send
I'm not,
summary of the bid.
they don't need that. It's just curious on the, the discussion on the mobilization, here we're $100 less. It's just curious. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that was a rough guess. You don't know what a contractor's gonna charge you.
No, you don't know on any of this, that's why you send out the bids, but it's just curious on that, how close it was and what the
Where's
numbers.
Graves and Cunningham out of?
Graves is from over by Spencer area,
Oh, she has to sign that too.
Okay.
Cunningham, Reese, Des Moines area.
Well, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to,
We can even afford
that,
it by...
all you need to sign then? Okay, I didn't look past the first page, so I didn't ask.
Just the front.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. That is all that I've got. I've talked to, my guys. I think we're gonna start hauling a little bit of rock while the roads are firm before they soften up and turn to crap on us. You see a couple of frost boils, or you can feel a couple of frost boils that are starting to come through. For the most part, the roads are in pretty good shape.
They're talking, what, 60 by the middle of the week?
I know the weekend was 60s.
Something like that.
I think it's supposed to be, low 50s all week, and
It sounds like the frost, there is not much frost in the ground right now.
it didn't sound like it. I talked to the
I seen a guy
contractor.
out digging out in the field with just a mini excavator. And then it looked like to me, this is down south, between here and Des Moines, and didn't appear to be any frost.
Last week, we had a contractor come in that's doing work for the DOT, doing some boring underneath the highway. He said he's finding anywhere between 4 and 8 inches.
Is that over here by 17?
He was doing Highway 3,
Yeah.
and, I think he had 1 or 2 on 169 as well. So,
They got that one done on 3, the way it looked.
yeah, he thought by Tuesday he was gonna be done, but he was looking for somewhere to park his trailer. So,
I have a favor to ask, if anybody's in for lunch and looking for a little physical activity, the food pantry truck, they're getting a large order of food today at noon, and Becky has a replaced knee and a bad shoulder. I don't know, I said, sound like I'm taking the, injury report for a football game. She goes, well, it's just me, so if anybody would be able, she said, I would highly appreciate
12 o'clock, yeah,
12-ish.
12-ish.
The guy might show up at quarter till, it might be,
I know for sure I'll be around if any of the guys come in, which...
well, I would appreciate very much to give her a little help, 'cause well, my text was like this long, so I just had to keep scrolling. So she's worried about it, but it would be very much appreciated, so.
Question for you, since you have a CDL, have you started doing that clearinghouse deal that they're requiring for, federal motor carriers? We just started looking into it last week. It's basically, it's a way for the feds to keep track of all of the licensed CDL drivers in the United States. Because what they've been running into is some drivers that have licenses in multiple states, if they get picked up in this one.
Yep, they'll do that, yeah.
They switch states.
Yep.
So this is something that they're trying to implement to get everybody that's...
Play by the same rules.
For most of the guys that are, independent like I do, I mean, last year I drove some for MS, hauled with their truck, so I had to do the drug test for them.
For them.
Mhm.
So I have mine on record with them, but that's usually what I don't.
Well, and you have to do that every time you
Every
get your
time you take
medical...
a medical card,
Yeah, you
which,
gotta
for
take it
me-
to the DOT.
I'm on blood pressure pills, so I have to do it every year.
Yeah. And we hadn't heard anything about it, I'm assuming because all of those emails had gone to EMA, which is
Right.
where all of our drug testing emails were going.
Mhm.
We got a hold of the hospital here 2 weeks ago, I guess, and said, hey, we didn't get any drug tests for the fourth quarter of last year. And we're in February right now, so we haven't got anything for the first quarter of this year. And she's like, okay, I sent them on such and such date, forwarded the information, we got everybody caught up on drug tests, but I'm assuming nobody's checking the emails on that computer?
I believe so.
So I'll have to check on there's several DOT, and Gordy usually has, DOT day. I'll have to ask him if he's gonna do that this year. We can talk to the officer that comes.
Blue Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually do a morning, like on a Saturday, when, just gives you the new regulations for, and it's worth the
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
couple hours to go sit and listen to them.
We've had them come to safety meetings before, and they've been very interesting to sit and talk to.
I'm not sure, but I think there might be a new one living in Goldfield.
I think there is.
That's what
The one guy, I think, moved to a different territory, I think he's out of Iowa Falls.
The one that pulled me over 2 weeks ago was, he's from Belmont, but he hangs around the 69 Highway 3.
Just a scale check or...
No, he just pulled me over and see where I was going. I told him, and he said, can I see your ticket? You got a scale ticket? I showed it to him. He says, is that what you weigh? I said, well, I don't think they give it away free. They charge them for every pound. And he started laughing. He goes, you got any questions for me? I said, isn't a little cold standing out on my step? And he goes, yep. Go ahead, get out of here. He just stood off, so he was a good kid. If I talk to Gordy, if they're gonna do that again, I'll get a date and let you know.
Yeah, I'll send my guys.
All right.
Be good.
Point of clarification, you were questioning if someone's looking at director emails?
Yes.
They are, but I will double check.
Okay.
You feel something may have gotten missed that
Well,
would
just,
have come through there.
I'm assuming our drug testing emails from Julie Whiter at the hospital had probably gone to that email.
Let me just double check on that and see.
It's not a big deal, I've already talked to her, she's
Right.
gonna send them to
I was
us
gonna
directly.
say, maybe forward them to you now and...
But just,
Yep.
yeah, just good. I just wanna let you know, I'll check to see.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
All right, thanks,
Anything else for
Ben.
me?
Nope.
All right,
Thanks, Ben.
have a good week.
You too.
Thanks.
All right.
Oh, I was gonna ask, is next week, time change? Do we switch?
Oh.
Are we, what?
No, it doesn't.
Ours
Ours
after
starts in Memorial Day.
Starts after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It goes off at the end of
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. All right, well,
Memorial to Labor.
I was sitting there thinking, that's awful early, and I couldn't remember if we started or...
Until Sexton gets that changed where we don't follow.
We'll be the only state that they leave it.
There'll be a day or
That's in
two.
Arizona.
Yeah, I was gonna say Arizona, there's another one now too, 'cause they had that, there's two others, I think, now that changed it,
Yeah.
that don't, I can't remember who they are.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
I wish we did.
Committee reports.
I don't believe I had any meetings last week.
I could've loaned you a couple. Let's see, Tuesday, the 25th, I had UDMO, meeting in Fort Dodge. Trying to think if there was any Anything in there? Wednesday, I got a phone call on that reference to that flooding from that guy in Illinois. I gotta give him a call back this afternoon. Thursday, I was in, Webster City for the CFR meeting. And Friday, I was in Eldora for the Juvenile Detention Board. I think that was it, yeah. Oh, we'll visit afterwards. I stopped in and visited, I talked to Rick about it, about our, sandbox and thing over at Gilmore. So we'll have a visit afterwards, but I have a person that might be, a group that might be interested in helping us. So I think we can, if we get it worked out and make it work, it'll be a good project for somebody in town, so we'll talk after.
Good. All right, the only thing I had was Wednesday, I was over at Mason City, and we were actually at the new, Highway Patrol office there. It is really nice, because our office isn't ready yet, to house the board meetings. But anyway, County Social Services, and, it was a really good meeting. We're working on, he gave a really good explanation of the difference between the, Access Center and a, subacute. So the Access Center is gonna be with CFR, that's gonna be going June or July, I can't remember now, I had it here. But anyway, a subacute, so subacute is for long-term care, and, that we're in talks with, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank, Community Health, down there in Fort Dodge. Their mental health department, everything is really growing a lot, so that's really a good thing for the area. We're supposed to get a proposal together for them, so that's a really positive thing, that we're gonna be able to have both an access and a subacute. And the other thing is going with that, access centers, that's where the officers can drop people off within 15 minutes, but then they're called, we need to get everybody trained, so that's something I need to be talking with Dean Kruger about. They're called CIT officers, and basically it's where, no, oh, that's for me? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was for Kent. But anyway, so we gotta work with them. Black Hawk County is actually gonna be working at getting their, a mobile, response area there, so they're gonna hire more sheriffs and have them, trained for mental health, so that they can actually go and take care of people instead of hiring, an extra firm or something like that to do it. They want their sheriff's department to know they'll go in plain clothes and go to these areas for this mobile response. So that sounds really positive, but I need to work with Dean on, 'cause it's like a 40-hour training to get them CIT officer certified, or whatever you call it. So that's something that would be good for our county. That's all I had.
No,
Quit talking.
Okay.
I know.
25th, Tuesday, I had a VA meeting down here in Humboldt, group claims and stuff. Wednesday, the 26th, I had a morning meeting, Region 5 Hazmat, Fort Dodge. The new truck will be here the 25th of this month.
Oh, wow.
We get to see that in our May meeting. And, they talked about some other stuff there, but sending a couple of guys for training and stuff. But anyway, the new truck will be here, supposedly. That afternoon, I had a Midas meeting in Fort Dodge. They're talking about changing their name from Midas, because you go to Midas and, you know, they do grants, they do, work with cities and entities and stuff, besides the buses. And so they want to change their image a little bit. And, they're still working on getting a different name, but Midas, you say, well, call them Midas, well, that's a muffler dealer.
That's muffler brakes.
So, they're wanting to change their image a little bit. We don't know what they're gonna come up with yet, but they're working on that. Also, I got an email from her Friday. I'll have to get the name, but April 1st, they're gonna go tour some houses. These houses cost, I think it was $75,000. They're built by the prisoners. And they're joining with the prisoners, and they've got to be medium to low income, that you can buy them and set them on your lot. But the prisoners build them. So, I'll get more information on that. But,
So is that done right in the, like, in Fort Dodge, and then they move them, or?
I think it's probably Anamosa,
Oh, that's what I wondered.
because it's over east.
Hmm.
But I'll get the information, the towns and stuff, but they were, April 1st, she's got it set up where anybody can go tour them if they wanna go. Tour it, so. That's all I had.
Back to your, truck, did Carroll ever figure out Carroll County? Are they,
They're in with it.
they're in?
They stayed in.
They stayed
They
in?
stayed in.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Good.
oh, good,
I think they found out they couldn't go with it.
I was gonna say that, they found out,
It's
Too expensive.
One of the biggest spills has been in Carroll County.
yeah.
So, no, they're still with us.
all right.
Alrighty then, this past Monday, the 24th, I had a building families meeting in Clarion that afternoon. And on Wednesday, the 26th, we had a 911 board meeting here at the courthouse that evening. That's my two meetings last week. Got that done? So, Bruce, you'd mentioned something, any other items pertinent to anything?
Well, the only thing, Saturday morning, I was driving down Broadway there, and I went by and I saw that woodworking shop there at the old water plant, so I thought,
Yep.
there's a whole bunch of cars there, so maybe someone in there would, so I stopped in and I said, hey, do you guys do any community projects? And he said, well, strange that you'd ask, 'cause he said, we just got a grant but we have to do so many community projects. I said, well, I have one that maybe fits the bill. And thank God I still had it in this briefcase that's full of papers. So I dug it out, took it in there, and I said, here, the daycare over in Gilmore City is looking for a couple of projects. They came and asked, and I said, Rick, first comment out of his mouth was, looked awful expensive for what you're getting. So they all looked at it and said, well, I'm pretty sure we could do that a lot cheaper.
Great.
And he said, do they have a time frame on it? I said, well, they just came and requested money from us, so all we have is just the ability to say yes, or we didn't put it in the budget.
Mhm.
But I said, if we could do it, I said, to me, it would make everybody, you guys do it, we figure out a way to get it paid for, and they get their...
Because we put it in the budget, just not the full amount that they
Right.
wanted, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good, thanks.
so I said the only thing that someone said is that sandbox needs to have a cover on it, because it'll be the largest kitty
Litter.
litter box in
Yeah.
Gilmore City. And he said, well, I said, maybe we could go down the street and talk to, Syntex or
Oh, yeah.
someone
There
who's
you go.
having to put
Fiberglass.
some tarp strap, or just a tarp.
Oh, yeah, you could do that too, a tarp to roll over.
Bruce, the best thing to do would be to contact the director over there with that?
But, I got her name, but it
Or
doesn't have
have-
a phone number on it.
I can get that.
I can get a hold of, I'm pretty sure that...
Or
Through the school, isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah,
through
through
the
the-
school?
She's also the principal of the school.
If you'd call the school.
Yep.
And switch you over to the right person.
I'm sure they would be thrilled to, have some assistance with
Yeah.
that.
And all their concern was is, they said, well, we could probably build it right here and take it over and, I said, I'm pretty sure we could figure out if we do it on a Saturday, we'd probably have someone that stumble through I can help you, something, do it, so.
But, you know, just to check with her, and
We could find the equipment to get it moved.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah, use the county
I
to
did
move it.
hear back from her, and she's just kinda checking in. And they also said that, you know, they're looking for cheaper labor. You know, they do wanna get these projects out there this year. So I think it'd just be good to contact her with that information and get it all sorted out so they can get their equipment at hopefully a reduced cost.
Thought the wood would cost.
Yeah. Sounds probably about right.
So, I said, I'm pretty sure we can make that work, so.
Yep.
She'd be thrilled with that, but I'd check with her so that they can
Right.
coordinate everything.
Who's in charge of that now?
What's his name, Brett,
Davis.
Davis is, but there was quite a group in there, that were in there, couple kids,
Lawson and Schultz.
Dean was in there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so, yeah, it's kind of a nice, especially for somebody that likes woodworking, that probably doesn't have every toy
Yeah,
in your basement or shop, and,
I know they pretty much open that up to anybody.
yeah, so, I think you gotta go through and do the safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have their, yeah.
But, anyway, I'll get ahold of them, and
They got-
then we'll figure out how to do the other.
You just put your design there and it builds it itself.
Mhm.
That's all I have.
Well, I know when Gary Lowe passed away, he gave a lot of his equipment.
I just had a couple quick things that I
To-
checked on, and you're probably aware of, but Conservation Board, I visited with Todd Lee a little bit last week. You were visiting dam-related issues, but this would be the dam here in town. They have, been in contact with, like, folks from the DNR. It's kind of an ongoing thing. They've really been working through it on the Conservation Board side. So they're still looking at that. I was even, came up that, the gal was gonna come and do some interviews with folks that live along there. Your name was brought up, Dave's name was brought up. You might be getting interviewed if you haven't already.
Yeah, I got a call on it.
So, they're just, I guess it's a researching, at this point in time to see, you know, what some of the options are on that dam, but, so that was encouraging.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say, tell you I had that. There was some correspondence last week on, grants relating to the radios for the fire departments. That is ongoing. It's looking really positive. The one that you may have seen in an email was actually targeted to law enforcement, but, that took my interest, so I touched base with Scott Thompson, and, he and Tyler Dodds are working on a grant, not that one, because that's law enforcement, it's not fire department. They're having pretty good success thus far. They showed me some preliminary numbers. I'd rather just say preliminary at this point, but, things are looking good on the grant side of money for those extra radios at this point. So it's very positive. Very, what I saw was what I saw, it's still in the process, but it was very encouraging for money.
Good.
Good.
So that was a very good thing. So, just that kinda tell you what was kind of some extracurricular things.
Awesome. You always need good news.
Yeah, it was very positive, kinda like your help on the equipment. Just a point of clarification on that. We did agree to 5,000 on the daycare. I would've cut that amount, 'cause they still need the money. But obviously, if they can get a project done for way less, that would give them money to, you know, help with other things. So, that's a good positive thing there too. Anything else?
Peggy, you don't have anything?
Nothing? Really a little slow day, isn't it?
Your stack is pretty small.
Oh.
Awesome.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
You wanna wait till 9, or?